Conservation and Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency. It's Wednesday, December 18th, 2024 at approximately 6:35 p.m. And I'd like to just do a roll call of everyone seated this evening. To my left, we have regular members Frank Borgano, Ashley Joyner, Jerry Fishbeck. And to my right, I have Marie Diamond, our liaison from the Town Council, and Dave Perkins, Town Planner and Wetlands Administrator. I'm Steve Scavell. I'll be chairman for this evening's meeting. Next, we can do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so next item would be number 3 minutes, meeting of November 20th, 2024. Do we have any comments, revisions, modifications?
No, I don't have any comments or revisions on the minutes. I thought they were very good.
Other than a couple typos, it was perfect.
Very good. All right, do we have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept the
Second.
minutes.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, minutes are accepted. All right, we'll move on to number 4, old business, item A, application 2024-4, 49 Computer Road, site plan, construction of a 5-bay storage garage building to store athletic equipment and field maintenance equipment, owner Town of North Branford, applicant North Branford Public Schools, John Florio, agent continued from November 20th, 2024.
Is requesting to continue again to our next meeting.
Okay,
So
that's
I
fine.
move to table it.
Just need a motion to table it. Huh?
I just did.
Oh, you don't. It's fast. I didn't hear it. It's so slow. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You guys are on the ball. Okay. We're going to move to number 5, new
Who was the
business.
second?
Oh, sorry. We're going to move to number 5, which is new business. Item A, application 2024-5, 2 Maltby Lane, which is pond maintenance to include removal of silt and installation of an aeration system to control future silt development, weeds, and algae growth. Owner applicant, John M. Jesmond.
So the applicant, unfortunately, is out of town tonight,
Oh, okay.
unexpectedly. He did give you a pretty good, I think, application. Basically, he's had a pond on his property going back generations on Forest Road, on where Maltby cuts off of Forest Road.
On Middletown Avenue,
Yeah.
that's not Forest
Middletown
anymore.
Avenue, I'm sorry. And as ponds do, it's been filling in over the years and getting muckier and muckier. And he has a hard time even walking into the pond, much less seeing wildlife getting into the pond. So basically what he'd like to do is to extract the muck from the pond and disperse it outside of the 100-foot buffer area in the woods to the east. And then he has a maintenance program he'd like to install to put some aerators in the pond and
Keep it viable. Yeah.
make it more viable.
Where he wants to put the muck, is that outside of the other person's property line?
It's all on his property.
Okay. But it's not within like 25 feet of the other person?
No,
And he won't be taking trees down for that, right?
no.
Okay.
No, and he won't actually be getting into the pond. They can reach everything.
Like with
With an
it's big,
excavator
it's small enough
from
where
the
they can
outside.
go around the perimeter and pull everything out and then move it to the appropriate
Correct.
location. Okay.
Was there any kind of estimate as to how much material they thought they might be removing from the pond?
I
It says
think
square feet, but I don't think that. I think that's the area effective, but not really.
I think that might be the 5,000 square feet. Is that not the
That's the-
area of the pond?
that's the area of the pond.
Okay,
So if it's 5,000 square feet times
let's say they're gonna take out 3 feet,
a foot, 2 feet,
2 feet, so 10,000. 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. It'll vary from place to place, of course,
how deep
more
it
in the,
is, yeah.
more in the center. Well, the center might be deeper.
but he's gonna spread it over, I think he says, like a 10,000 square foot area, so whatever is coming out of the 5,000 square feet will be
He
less.
has the acreage to do that, it looks like, from his application, so he's,
I don't know,
as long as
it
it's
looks
not
like the
in
same
the
size,
wetland
like
or
circles.
like in the setback of his neighbor.
That's why I thought it was the pond.
I mean, we all know that if ponds aren't maintained, they atrophy and
True of lakes as well.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna have to do
Yeah,
mine.
and I mean, I'm all for this type of activity, considering what I've seen over the years happen to Clear Lake on West Pond Road, West Lake Avenue there. That's turning into, I mean, as years ago, I would swim across and swim back. Now you can walk across.
Yeah.
Or get stuck in.
Get stuck in, yeah, probably
like-
just get
Probably
stuck
peat
in
and
them.
mud, I bet, right?
Some kind of
From what I can
monster
see.
living in it and just-
well, luckily here, we have a privately owned pond on one parcel who can maintain it rather than.
Plus, he's gonna use his own funds to do something that will
Right.
benefit really the environment, so it'd be nice if more people could do that, you know, because there's a lot of ponds in this town that are old, like fire ponds and things that are.
I know, I gotta do mine too, stop.
Sounds like this sets a
But
good
so-
example.
Invite us, have a big party one weekend, we'll give a shovel, we'll go and dig it.
I'll invite you guys over, you guys can come do
We'll
mine.
come and go and dig, how's that? Well, you can have a big
I'll
cookout.
even put waiters on you.
There you go.
I'll bring my backhoe. Thank you.
So in all seriousness though, how does everyone feel about this? I mean,
I'm okay.
we do have a motion here, so I'm not saying we have to entertain it, but, you know, Dave's prepared us one. I mean, if you think if you've read all the literature and you think we're okay with it, or do you want to wait to ask John some questions?
I had a question, I
Yeah.
gotta,
I mean,
sorry,
we
I have
can
to
wait.
pull
It's
up
not-
things.
it's-
No, there was one thing on the application. He said something about a letter going to RWA or, yeah. Because it's within the RWA, was a copy given to the RWA and have they approved it?
You know, I'm not sure if I've gotten a response from them or
They
not.
did, okay.
Well, you know, then there's, in lieu of that, just so it would be nice to have, we could table this for, to the next meeting, wouldn't have a problem, right? John wouldn't have a problem, or you,
I don't think it's an issue. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I
I'm
mean,
just
you
asking. I
could, you
just-
could pass it subject to a positive letter from the
Okay.
RWA.
That's what I was gonna suggest. I
okay.
think that's a great
fine.
idea.
We've done that before, I've just thrown all the options, whatever you
I
know.
mean, I don't see the RWA having a problem with it.
No, it's not
No,
like
that
they're
would
doing
be-
an active channel or a stream, they're not, they're not doing anything.
I would think that this would be a good time of year. He's planning on doing it this time of year,
I
right?
think it would be better to do
Winter.
it
Yeah,
sooner.
I agree.
Yeah,
Right, but
that's
he still
right.
has to wait for the letter from RWA.
Yeah, but I think if we do the,
We could make a special condition, say, you know, we could say, hypothetically, we could approve it, say,
Right.
in lieu of a positive, you know, letter from the
Right.
RWA response.
right,
Would-
I agree.
Good.
Good, I think that's a great idea.
So here's the motion, so if someone wants to read it, but you could maybe write that, whoever's really good, like, probably someone who's a teacher is very good with
Nope.
handwriting and everything.
Oh,
Just kidding.
oh, wait, wait,
Right down.
here's
Are those
here's
copies?
some
Yes, they
copies.
are
I was gonna say, it's a real long motion.
Yeah, no, you just have one, that's,
Okay, so I make a motion,
Let's just look at it real quick,
Hold
because I
on, hold
gotta
on one
see.
sec.
so we gotta add,
we'd have to add the
The
special
other part,
condition.
yes.
August to Treasure Pond.
Yeah, it's gotta be special condition number 18.
Yeah,
18,
approval,
Approval contingent upon.
contingent or pending upon
Yeah.
positive letter, positive response from the RWA, how's that, something like that?
Yes.
okay, we ready?
Yeah,
Is she okay?
I don't know.
Just
Go
give me 1
ahead.
second. Give me 1 second.
Should I wait till she gets back?
It's better than having her try to watch the film over
I
again.
know, that's why I was
Yeah,
wondering.
I would think, go ahead, she can pick it up on the film.
You sure?
She's probably right, she probably, yeah,
All
I
right,
think
I
we're
move
okay.
to approve IWWA application number 2024-5, site plan for maintenance of existing pond to include removal of silt and installation of an aeration system to control future silt development, weeds and algae control at 2 Maltby Road. The following materials were considered as part of the record of this application. Application for inland wetlands permit dated December 10th, 2024. GIS map of property at 2 Maltby Lane, Northford, correspondence from quote-unquote the pond guy regarding scope of work, and the following conditions, 1 through 17, which are our standard conditions, and then the special condition, this project is approved contingent on positive response from the Regional Water Authority.
Question before we second it. Was the correspondence from the pond guy scope of work, or was that what they were going to do to improve it? Because the scope of work is what he's doing to dredge it.
It was to improve it.
Yeah, so that should be different wording. It shouldn't be regarding scope of work.
The pond guy is just an internet company
I
that
know,
sells.
but they're
yeah.
selling him the aeration system, so
Right.
it's not the scope of work. The scope of work is the actual dredging. This is the improvement to it.
Okay,
So it should be the
If we just-
pond guy regarding the improvement.
Maybe tweak
Okay,
that.
so change the motion to correspondence from the pond guy to improve the existing pond.
Perfect. That
Does that
sounds
work?
good.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Very good.
To improve the improvement.
All right, we're gonna move on to number 6, and David wants to talk about the annual meeting, and what we want to accomplish.
I'm going to defer to Ashley and Frank, who seem to understand how the annual meeting works, because I don't.
What we asked for was a review of, sorry, I keep
Structures.
everything in here.
Prices from other-
Yeah,
The fee structure.
was mostly the fee structure. We have all of our stuff in our booklet, but the fee schedule in Appendix D, the application and fee schedule, needs to be compared to the surrounding towns, just to make sure we're still somewhat similar to the surrounding towns.
But do we need to like re-elect officers and things like that?
We don't have officers.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay, I sort of assumed that's what the annual.
Oh, no, it's just kind of a time to talk about, issues and things, so.
And if we found something in our bylaws that we might want to change, that would be a time to
Right, right.
raise it.
So with the last time we did this, the town planner noted that there were discrepancies in our bylaws from changes that the state had made over
Yes.
time.
Correct.
So we updated it to be consistent with what the
Back
state
in
required.
2021, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Correct.
and I don't know, as far as I know, there's been no additions or to that.
Correct. Those were the last
Yeah,
major
and-
changes.
And then the other thing, just to parrot what Ashley said, was that she did a survey of neighboring towns to see what their fee structure is, and then we mirrored our fee structure based on neighboring towns. Not exactly, but to some extent, because we hadn't changed our fees
In
in
years.
a boatload of time. They were
Okay.
really.
We were really low at one point before we made the last adjustment.
Was this really last adopted in 2015?
No, that's,
Because, I mean, that's what I
no,
have on
no, you
this.
have that's not the
Yeah, I
latest
think
one.
I think we have,
She sent it electronically.
Okay.
yeah.
It's 2021, right, David?
Yes, that's when they were redone.
Yeah,
That's when.
because that should have included costs for signs, the dumping fees, and violation after the fact
It did.
that we had added to it.
Yeah, that was done by Carrie.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
Yeah,
one of our
so
last
That was
accomplishments,
September 20,
yeah.
yeah.
But so really, the outstanding issue now is
Those are
maybe
our
just to
standard
look,
conditions.
if you can get some of that information for us, maybe for the next meeting, some of the
So
local
I have
towns.
looked at some of our neighboring
Oh,
towns.
you have already, perfect.
Okay, and our fee schedule for a regulated activity for a residential zone, 500 to 1,000 square feet of disturbance is $250. For residential use, Branford is $250. 500 to 1,000 square feet for a commercial is $400. Branford is $400.
So that means Branford, because we based it on Branford.
We
if I
did,
remember right.
just because it was our
It's
closest,
the closest.
similar town, even though they're a little bigger than us, but, well, so then I guess we had.
Sounds like
moved
there's
along.
no change.
Yeah.
So I have Newington, which just happens to have the same format that we do,
That's my
which
hometown,
was
so.
convenient. $500 to $1,250 for the residential. They're all pretty similar.
Okay.
For the people who actually call out the square footage, we're consistent with our peers. A bunch of other towns just give you a fee for a regulated
Like a
activity.
flat fee, they don't,
Just $500 for a regulated activity.
so at least
They don't really care what the square footage is. They'll add something on for a public hearing. But my quick perusal, Frank, is that we're pretty much right in the mix.
I'm good with that.
Good, that's good to know. It's always good to look at them every couple of years, so that is good to know that. Since our last revision, we're still very comparable. Right? Very good, then. Thank you for getting that. Dan.
We don't have it, I mean, I think I have it electronic.
All right, anything else, any other comments or anything about things that we need to address or whatever?
No, I think that was, as long as we're
Okay.
compliant with the state statutes
Yep.
and we're.
That was important, obviously.
That was the major changes
Yeah,
that we made the last time in the fees. So,
and I assume, David, you get probably regular, correspondence from the state when things are changing and everything, because obviously you probably would see it before we do, so if you see anything, you just let us know,
Yeah,
correct?
no, I'm usually right in the
You're on
middle
top
of
of
it.
it, that's
And
what I
the
thought.
next legislative session will be starting in a
Perfect.
couple of weeks. And,
Perfect, that's,
I think the big change the last time was that when to hold public hearings and when to start the hearing and how long they went.
Oh.
Wetlands had one rule and planning and zoning had a different rule.
we had to be the same,
And so they made them the same.
Good.
Which made sense because town planners were always confused as to whether
Right,
they were
right.
zoning or what.
And someone always is gonna be questioning, well, how come that planning and zoning, I know,
Yeah,
I
there were
know.
two sets of rules.
I know. No, it
so
makes
they
sense.
just didn't make any
Need to
sense.
standardize it. All right then, okay, we can move on then to 7, which would be the Wetland Enforcement Officer's Report.
Again, I had a meeting recently over at our favorite properties on Toket Road, 400, 440. 440 to Toket Road, which is just north of 400 to Toket Road, north of the quarry. On the west side of the street is a large vacant lot that's not part of the DEP process. Mr. DeLongo owns that property and would like to build a house there. There has been a lot of filling of that property over the years, not with contaminated stuff, but with wood chips and logs and stuff that goes in the ground that doesn't make for a structural fill upon which you can build a house because you can't do it.
So let me ask, is he gonna submit an application to us? Because we're definitely gonna need a site walk for that one.
Well, so they've done a wetlands report and there are only wetlands like in the corner of the lot.
so excuse me, is this the corner?
No, this is north of
So,
the farm, 400. It's north of the new development.
On which side?
On which side of the street?
Going north, it's on the left.
Okay, because I know I had, for various reasons today, some people here know, I was on Tucket Road today, and as you go south towards Route 80 on Tucket, on the right, past the barn area, and where there's the corner of that other street, which I forget the name of the street, there's...
Borelli?
Yes.
Is that the name of the
Yes.
road? There's a sign of the development of
Correct.
building 3 houses, but that's
Correct.
not in the wetlands as far as...
There are no wetlands in that area.
Right, so this is something different.
This is much further north.
gotcha.
Okay,
This is further north than, 365 to Toket Road, the big subdivision.
oh, it's further north than that?
Just the next lot north.
Oh,
So,
Where the tire fire was and remember that whole episode?
yes,
I don't remember it, but I know about it.
it's history. Yeah. So, the bottom line is, it sounds like if they want to build on there, it's more of a planning and zoning issue, because unless they're within 100 foot of the wetlands, or, I'm trying to think, it's not really near the Farm River or anywhere, but,
It's not, there are some wetlands in
Right.
it, but they're not planning on being anywhere close to the
in other words, if
wetland.
they're out of the 100 foot buffer, then it's not our issue. It sounds like a big issue with the filling, but that's another.
And I don't know if there were wetlands there historically, and.
No, true, they could have been covered, you're right. It's.
You know, all I know is the wetland report that I've received as of today says
Gotcha.
what it says, and it's signed by a registered soil scientist, and I can't really question
Oh, I know,
that.
I understand. It just sounds like, with all the filling and everything, it just doesn't sound like a quality site to build somebody's house, but I guess eventually you'll probably be out there looking at it closer, I imagine, if they so they haven't actually put an application, I guess that's my question.
They haven't done
Just-
anything
okay.
other than,
So they can't do anything until they do that, and then that will drive sidewalks or whatever you guys need to do, or if we find out there's more wetlands there, then we'll be involved, I guess.
and I did during that inspection conversation with Mr. DeLongo, we did speak about the culverts in the Farm River, of which I've seen a couple times recently, and they're not really functional for the kind of equipment they want to take over the river.
Yeah, it's
And
important.
everybody-
It may fall right in, that would be a fun event.
Yeah, everybody is sort of in agreement with that, and they have done the last work. They've taken all the equipment out to Forest Road through the solar plant. So as far as Mr. DeLongo is concerned, he doesn't think he needs to keep those culverts in the river to do his
Good, then he
process.
needs
So
to take them out.
we can move forward with hopefully getting them out soon.
I think if this commission and the town engineer looking at the culverts as a safety issue, and I don't think there's really anybody against us at this point to have him take it out. He's willing to do it.
Yeah, I think,
And if I can I've got to get the DEEP, I've got to get his lawyers, because his lawyers don't want to give up anything.
well,
But that was part of the,
it was part of the, the whole
Approval process.
acceptance, the proof, right. And the thing is that that's just catch and debris. There's no purpose for keeping those there.
it's not just
It's
catching debris,
detrimental.
it's changing. the
But
shape of the
I
culvert.
just wanted to report that I think I have him on board. And if Mark's on board, why can't we get it done?
Absolutely.
Get it done.
On that whole 365 Totoket Road, the subdivision, the open space parcel, seeing as though the land trust did not want to accept it with the culverts in the river, the land trust and Mr. DeLongo have entered into a licensing agreement where the land trust is licensing that property from Mr. DeLongo to manage it as open space, which is fabulous because now we have somebody who's in charge. It's not an
Oversee it,
orphan
right.
anymore. And we have the water chestnuts in the mill pond that we're trying to get rid of, and part of the state grant that we've applied for through the Friends of the Farm River requires public access to the river. And by putting this licensing deal together prior to that application, hopefully we'll pick up enough points on the application that it'll get approved this time, so we can get a grant rather than having people in canoes
That'd
pulling
be a
everything
win-win
out.
for everyone. We could accomplish several things at once.
Right, so that's been done, and I think we can get the culverts out soon.
Very good.
Like this winter while the water table is low.
Is there a plan as to how to do it?
Well, there was a plan, and when you gave them approval,
Yeah.
to do it. There was a plan to basically get an excavator and put a rope around them and pull them out.
Shouldn't be really that difficult, honestly. They're not like that gigantic where you're gonna need a crane. You just need to get
No, they might need a
secure.
crane to lift it.
Think so? I don't know.
The
I don't know what the weight of them is.
The
I would-
other
I'd have to
option,
check
of
on
course,
that.
would be to break them and take them out in pieces.
Well, they're tin. I mean, they're metal.
I thought they were concrete.
No, they're metal.
Oh, they'll come out easier then.
I would think it'd be easier than concrete, right? Of the
Yeah.
weight. I
Yeah,
don't
the
know the
weight might
exact
not be
weight
as
or the
much.
size. I mean,
Oh, okay.
we probably could find out, but I'm sure they would know, but
No, they're metal.
There's a good bundle of money in
if
recycling.
anything,
Yeah, no
the
kidding.
nice thing about metal is that
You dump them on the other side of the river.
you could
Yeah,
pull
well,
them,
the rest of the
pull them out cleanly.
toxicity is,
Instead of, like Jerry said, you could break it up, but this way you just pull them cleanly out. You don't have to,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about any,
No.
debris falling in or.
so speaking about the other side of the river, I noticed that there's white plastic caps on the mounds. Have any of the neighbors been notified to test their water?
Well,
Yes.
they're on-
On Marjorie, Newbig, and Jers? Did you guys
Yeah,
go
the
up to Jers?
DEEP is in contact with all those people, yes.
I spoke to one of the people on Marjorie, and they're aware. And they even understood what was going on with the covers and the mounds and everything, so I can confirm that.
Anything else, David, that you have to add, or, okay? All right, then I guess unless someone else has some other things they want to bring up, we can get a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, meeting adjourned.
I made a big note.